Hello ladies and gents, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at this PS5 which has been sent in, and this PS5 has been sent in because it's got a rather peculiar bit of damage. So apparently this PS5 was dropped and the HDMI port was damaged, but that's not the reason that it's on my bench. The reason it's on my bench is because apparently when the technician was taking it apart, they kind of unplugged the antennas and one of the antenna connectors come off. Very strange thing to actually break. But that being said, it's on this bench and we're going to try and fix it. But while I've got your attention, if you are new to the channel and you like this type of content, then I would appreciate it if you hit subscribe and turn on the bell notifications, and that way you don't miss any future videos. And also, if you learn anything from this channel, you can check me out over on Patreon and you can become a subscriber there, or you can head over to Twitch and become a channel sponsor on Twitch. You can link an Amazon Prime account to Twitch and basically subscribe for free, which gives me $2.50 every time someone does it, but it doesn't cost you a penny to do if you've got Amazon Prime already. So with that being said, let's get into this repair. Okay, so this has been left unscrewed for me, and it looks like a smoker's console, to be honest. So you can see some definite signs of, well, what I believe is smoke damage on the case. So yeah, that's definitely a smoker's console. So this is the digital edition PS5, and apparently the Wi-Fi antenna has been ripped off. It's absolutely filthy by the look of this here, but it should be fairly straightforward, hopefully. I don't know what damage has been done exactly, but I'm hoping it's nice and easy. So I'll get this thing disassembled. I'm not going to worry about turning it on because, yeah, I've been told by another business that it does actually turn on. So I'm not going to worry about it not turning on. I know I should know better by now, but you know, it is what it is. So I'll just get into disassembling it, and yeah, we'll skip the video to the point where it's opened up. Okay, so I'm in the console far enough to see what's gone on, and yep, I can definitely see some damage here to this antenna or to the coax connector. So definitely going to need to fix that. So apparently this was dropped, but I honestly don't understand how that could rip off a connector. I'm going to be honest. It's a little bit confusing to me, to be honest. But anyway, it's on the bench for repair, and you know, we're going to try our best. Okay. Oh, nearly did it again. I keep doing that. I keep forgetting about that connector. Damn it. Okay, so here we are then. So let me just pop under the microscope and I'll show you what I'm dealing with, because it's going to be difficult for you to see on the camera. Okay, and as you can see here, we've got the Wi-Fi IC just here. So this is the Wi-Fi module, same as on the PS4 series, but just a different model. We've got some antennas here, some are for Bluetooth, some are for Wi-Fi. And if we move on down here, you'll see that the RW one just there is completely ripped off. So luckily it hasn't taken any traces, so this should be a really straightforward repair, and any coax connector that fits is going to do the job. I'm going to take one off a PS5, but if you don't have a PS5 donor board, then you could potentially use a PS4 donor board as well. They are going to be the same. So here's a donor board, and that's what it's supposed to look like. This is the PS5 donor board, and this is the one we're missing. It doesn't really matter if you take it from here, here, up here, or up here. You know, they're all the same. They're all going to work absolutely fine. But basically we need to take one of these. Now the problem is these are plastic, or at least some of it. So what we need to do is we're going to need to use some hot air from underneath the board, and we're going to need to heat up on this side of the board. So heat up from this side of the board, and then basically this side will penetrate the heat eventually. They are really thick boards, so it does take a while. But what we want to do is we want to heat up from the bottom and allow the heat to soak up through the board and desolder this connector, and that should desolder it without damage. So we'll try that. So I've got the board hanging over the edge of the table. This is the donor board. And I'm going to set my hot air up at 480 degrees Celsius at 40% airflow. So I'm going to go full whack on my hot air. I'm using the Atten ST862D. And I'm going to go full whack on my hot air, and I'm going to desolder this from the board. So you can see I've got the hot air underneath. And this is going to take a while, so I'll fast forward to just before it's about to come off. It is going to take at least 60 seconds, I would say, to desolder this. Okay, we're just about ready here. Ah, damn it, I lost it. Don't drop the connector. Okay, there we go. So I've got myself a donor pull there, and that's pretty much good to go. Never finding that other one now, not a chance. That's gone into the carpet. And next I'm going to bring my working board, the one that I'm working on, back into action here. And now I'm just going to bring my working board, the one that I'm working on right now, back into action. And I'm going to get some flux. So the reason I add flux is because, or rather the reason that we add flux, anyone who's soldering, is because it helps solder to flow. And you're going to end up with oxidised pads without using flux. So always add flux when soldering. I use Kingbo RMA 218. And I'm going to get some leaded solder, and I'm going to replace the solder that's on the pads. So the solder that will be on there at the minute is lead free, so I want to add leaded solder just to lower the melting temperature. There we go. And that's going to make it easier to solder back on, and it's also going to be a much better joint than lead free solder is going to give us. I'm going to bring my connector in. Let's just see if there's a specific way that it needs to go. And there is. So if you look here, we've got the two anchor points there, but then just here we've got a middle pad that's going to the middle pin. And basically, if we look on the other side, it looks like there's a contact for both of them, but there's not. It's just the one, and this is the way it's meant to go. So we're going to get this roughly in place here. There we go. And then I'm going to do exactly the same again. I'm going to heat up from underneath, and it should flow this into place. Surface tension should bring it in. So you can see already that the solder is going to start to melt, and the flux is starting to bubble. So the heat is penetrating through the board, and that's what's making the flux bubble. The solder shouldn't be far behind, to be honest. Usually when you've got bubbling flux, it's not much longer for solder to melt, and that is perfect timing. Look at that. So I'm going to give this a tap. It should spring back. It does. And there we go. Job done. There we go. And I'm going to confirm that we've got a contact on the middle pin. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to turn on the multimeter and put it into continuity mode. And we've got a test point just here. That goes to this middle pad. And we should hear a beep. And we do. So you'll notice that these appear as though they're short. I believe it's just low impedance. We've got like 12 ohms. But yep, that is connected. We've got a nice contact on there, and we are good to go. Okay, well this might be one of the easiest fixes that I've done this year. And this is going to have to come apart, because this is filthy. Yeah, it's going to have to come apart. That sucks. And then I can access the heatsink. That's a hell of a heatsink. Alright, I'm going to get this cleaned out. Okay, there we go. That's enough. And we're ready. Fresh liquid metal on there. Good to go. Nice new connector. So I'm not going to put this fully back together. I don't have all of the screws here anyway, because it was partially disassembled by another technician. So I don't have all of the screws to put it back together on video. But I don't generally put them back together on video anyway. I'm going to get it back together enough just so we can test it, make sure it's all working, and then we're going to call this job good. It's going to be a nice, easy repair. I didn't forget it. I was just testing you guys. Wow. At least you've seen it. At least you didn't fail the test. I didn't lose my screwdriver. I was just testing you guys. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pop on the light bar. I didn't plug it into the wrong one. I was just testing you guys. Wait, is that still stuck in there? Yep. I think, is it? Yeah, the old connector's stuck in there. Damn it. This might need a new antenna. Depends if I can get it out or not. So the antenna connector is actually still stuck inside the coax. And unless I can get it out... Wait, is it? Yep, it's definitely stuck in there. So I've got to try and get this out. It could end up breaking this connector though, or this coax rather. And if it does, then unfortunately the customer has to pay for a new antenna, because it's not my fault it's stuck in there. It feels like it wants to give. Ow! I stabbed myself. That hurt a bit. There might be an access point. Oh. I felt something. No, I felt it break. Yep, it's time to replace the antenna. Oh, that sucks. That does suck. But it is what it is. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. Apart from just replace it. So, I'm wondering if I could possibly repair that antenna rather than replacing it. That's what I'm wondering. Could it be repaired? So I'm going to grab a spare antenna and yeah, see what we can do. Okay, so I've got a PS4 Pro case here which I've stripped down, and I've got an antenna there. I know it's black, but does it really matter? And as you'll see here, this is just soldered on, which means that we can just desolder it. So damn, that's hot. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. And here we have the old antenna. If I had some crimpers, I could just crimp a new connector on, but I don't actually own a pair. I should buy some, I think, because I always come across broken antennas. I'm going to desolder it from this one as well. There we go. And let's solder on the replacement. Super hot. Okay, so that's tacked down in place. I'm going to add a little bit of flux, just so we get a nice joint on it, even though it's just an antenna. Follow that. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. Wow, that's hot. That is super, super hot. Alright, there we go. And let's clean it before we finish up. And we're done. Alright, so there was my PS4 Pro antenna housing thing. That's the official name for it. It's an antenna housing thing. And it doesn't really matter which one goes on which either on these, to be honest. It's all just an antenna, it's all connected to the same thing. So, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Just gonna slot it back in. Make sure it locks in place. Lock that back down, there we go. And I'm just gonna try and route this as best I can. There we go. There we go. Awesome. We've got a new connector. Or rather, not a new connector, we've got a new antenna. So like I said, it doesn't matter if it's black or white. The point is, it's working. I won't charge a customer for that. You know, let's just come off a spare case that's lying around that I'll probably never use. A friend of mine and a viewer of the channel had a ribbon out of it last week. So, yeah, it's fine. And yes, it doesn't look the best, but if the other business is that fussed by it, then I'm sure they'll have a white antenna, or one that they can shorten, or a replacement PS4 antenna, maybe, or PS5 antenna rather. Unfortunately, well, I do actually have one, but it's to a complete case. I've got a complete case for a PS5 and I don't want to get rid of the antenna. There we go. I'll screw it all back together after I finish the video. I'm not really that fussed at the moment. I'll screw the case back together off camera. Just turn it on. We get a blue light. And we also get a display, which is good. Okay, here we go. So first of all, I'm going to make sure we're in 4K, and we are. That's cool. We are in 4K, that's fantastic, even though I didn't touch it. Okay, settings. Set up internet, and there you go, that picks up my Wi-Fi fine. Oh, and by the way, wireless controller's working. And yes, you can use a PS4 controller on the PS5. So, if I just show you this. No magic tricks. There you go. Seems to be working fine. And yep, I'm getting 204 megabits per second on the Wi-Fi, which means that the antennas appear to be working. I don't know which one is which on them antennas, but wireless controller is working as well, so you know, we're all good. So yeah, there we go. Nice, simple repair. It's been a while since I had to change a coax connector on a PlayStation. They do break occasionally, but it's not very often. So nice to make a video on it finally. Yeah, so obviously I don't know how it happened. I don't know how someone even manages to break a coax connector, but apparently they do. And yeah, so obviously you can take one from a PS4 board if you haven't got a PS5 donor board, or you can buy them as well. I just don't know the name of them, so maybe someone in the comments can help out, and I'll pin the comment for the first person who tells me the correct name for it. Yeah, so that's going to be for this video, by replacing the connector and also by replacing the antenna as well, because that was damaged. Well, it wasn't damaged, but the old connector was stuck inside and it snapped off when I tried to get it to connect, to remove it, sorry. So yeah, I've had to replace one of the Wi-Fi antennas, and I have had to use one from a PS4 Pro because I don't have one spare for the PS5. So obviously by replacing those two things, this console seems to be working fine and the customer can game happy. So that's going to be for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comments down below. I'll always do my best to answer, and if you want to organise your own repair, you can do so by using the website in the video description. You can get in touch using the contact page if you've got a question about a repair that you want to organise, or you can book the repair straight in using the mail-in repair form. If you enjoy this type of content and you want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications, and that way you don't miss any future videos. And if you like what I do and you find any use from it at all and you want to support me, then number one, you're probably crazy. But number two, there's a Patreon link in the video description. You can join me on Patreon. There's a channel member option by clicking on the join button down below the video. You can become a Twitch Prime subscriber by heading over to Twitch, link in the video description. Or you can donate directly in the video description as well. But that's going to be it for this video. Nice simple fix. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, see you later. Bye for now.